All right, everybody, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Matthew. Let's take a look here very quickly at the Argentine peso versus the dollar. What you're going to see here is the official rate. I've had a few videos about this in the recent past. I'm not going to go through the whole history of what I have here since 2002, which does include black market rates. But we know that Javier Milei, the new president, came in December. It was a hectic summer. Last summer of 2023 for Argentina, big devaluation occurred from roughly 286 to 350 pesos per dollar officially, and then Milei did a huge devaluation himself, over 100% devaluation of the peso to where it was 360, devalued to 800 or so, and then since then they've been on this crawling peg trying to reestablish some sort of normalcy relative to the dollar, cutting a lot of fiscal budgets, trying to cut the deficit, and did in some ways balance the budget, but it's a long way from there. He has said that he's going to try to cut 70,000 more public sector workers, although I saw that there's like 3.5 million public sector workers in Argentina regardless, so it's kind of a small sum, but he's going to continue to try to slash fiscal spending, end populism and socialism in Argentina. And I do think he's pretty genuine, and it's a pretty interesting effort that he's going to do. Now, let's see what the market says about this. This is the black market. All right. You want the free market rate to be the same as the black market rate. Then you have a true free market. Argentina doesn't have that yet. He definitely got closer here. Look, you could see the black market rate is over double, sometimes almost basically triple the official rate. And you also call it the parallel rate. The black line is basically the black market rate, okay? This is from Blue Dollar, where I'm sourcing this data. But he definitely closed the gap when he came in December. Got a little bit worse here in the start of January. But now it's a little bit, the gap is closing again here, start of April. But anything can happen here still. It's very tenuous for Argentina, very tenuous times in the world in general. I really do wish the good people of Argentina the best, and he especially, because I know he has very strong free market principles. But really what I want to show you here, which I think is very interesting, is that if you take a free market asset like Bitcoin, I've said this before, you can back into the black market rate as well. All right, how do you do that? Well, conceptually, we just look at a rate of Argentine pesos per Bitcoin, okay, which is a huge number. I don't even know it off the top of my head. All right, and we look at where there's somewhat of a liquid market for that. Binance has some history. So we look at that, and then we just divide it by the regular old index world global dollar price per Bitcoin. And what that is going to give us, if you remember your old dimensional analysis from high school, you cross out the different signs there, and what that's going to give you, if you divide those two numbers, is the black market peso price per dollar. Taking a moment to remind you that this show is brought to you by Trezor, home of the original Bitcoin hardware wallet. For over 10 years now, Trezor means business in Bitcoin security and functionality. When using their wallet software Trezor Suite to connect to the Bitcoin network, you're automatically connected via Tor, protecting your identity and giving you full control of your coins in a fully open source manner, both on the software level and on the hardware level. So head on over to Trezor.io to grab your Trezor Safe 3 with a secure element, Model T with a touchscreen, or the original Trezor 1, as well as a ton of available accessories to back up your keys and keep your coins safe. This show is proud to be associated with Trezor. So I'm going to put that line on this chart right now. Pretty interesting. Okay, so this shows you that Bitcoin is checking the black market, or the black market is checking Bitcoin. Sort of one of these chicken or egg questions. It's definitely not equal, but if we have one source, Blue Dollar, which tracks, the street rate, the parallel rate of pesos per dollar, we have a different source, which is not necessarily looking at pesos per se, but it definitely is looking at the Bitcoins that you can get per peso, or how many pesos it will take to get one Bitcoin, let's say. And then once you have that number, you derive it by the worldwide liquid, free, open Bitcoin price. And no matter what anybody says, we, tainted UTXOs or whatever, we have one worldwide Bitcoin price. You divide those two numbers, you will get this orange line, which is unofficial pesos per dollar. All right, so I think that's very interesting. I think Milei as well is going to have his work cut out for him as far as what he's going to do with the Bitcoin market. There's been some criticism. He's talked about some registries for crypto companies, Bitcoin companies to come in. I think he could do a lot more there. I think that, trust in, I'm not there. I don't know. I just, from what I've heard, people still have a lot of faith in what Milei is trying to do. They know that he's good intentioned for sure. He has a lot of free market values, but trying to get certain companies to comply with a different kind of government regulations, whatever it may be, just to increase tax revenue is not necessarily the best way to look at it. I think he well knows that economic value, productivity, freedom, private property, that's the best way indirectly to increase tax revenue. But I don't think this crypto Bitcoin registry, whatever he's trying to do, is the best way to go about that. I think if he opened it up freely for Bitcoin companies, exchanges, non-exchanges, people that like to work with on-chain data, Lightning, whatever it may be, if he opened it up for those entities to come in with no tax or very low tax, I think you would see a different kind of economic improvement. Nonetheless, that's just my 2 cents there. I'm not there. Argentinians are very good people. They certainly deserve better than the socialist problems that they've had in the past. And I do think Milei can get there. He's trying, but at the moment, still have a 15-20% gap between free market, black market, parallel market, peso per dollar rate versus official, slow, crawling peg peso per dollar rate, which is about 862 at the moment. Wish them all the best. Let me know what you think about Milei and his policies in the comments. Thanks for watching.